we have a janazah. This is a reminder that you and I made it another day. And we were allowed to witness another Jum'ah. And we were allowed to come to the masjid and witness another salah and answer the call of Allah. As you all know the ayah in Surah Al-Jum'ah, when the call is made for Salat Al-Jum'ah, then come to the remembrance of Allah. Come to remember. Come to wake up your iman, to renew, to rejuvenate, to re-energize, to remind yourself what's important, to remind yourself why you're alive, what's your mission, what's your action that follows the mission. It's not enough to say, I have this mission in life. Are you following the mission with a plan and action, or a plan of action? And do you have a vision? This is what our deen gives us. This is what Islam gives us. And that's why Salat al-Jum'ah is very important. Every week you come and you realign yourself and you put your priorities where it belongs. My dear brothers and sisters, we're all watching the world and in disbelief and in dismay. But again, this is the test and trial and tribulation of our generation. Just one generation back, 2 generations back, people witnessed the First World War. People witnessed the Second World War. About 77 million died between these 2 wars. And within about 60 years, not even, about 40 years, just the research right now that comes out on Mao Zedong, the founder of the People's Republic of China, just within his ruling, and he barely lasted, 20 to 30 years influencing the policy. And this man alone, by himself, responsible for the death of 80 million Chinese. 80 million Chinese, 77 million, most of them died in Europe. Just Russia by itself had 36 million people die within the Second World War. A lot of people. So then the world said, we learned from this. We learned from our mistake. Let's not repeat this again. Let's do something different. But subhanAllah, the human is the human. Whether you give him, when you give the human power, when you give him wealth, when you give him intelligence, if there is no iman that grounds that power, wealth, and intelligence, if there's no iman to ground you, make you humble, make you realize, even if I have all of this, I'm going to live for a short time. The entire civilization will live for a short. Let me do the right thing. Let me do the good thing. Let me do that which benefits mankind. No. The human has his own nafs that wants him to think that he is God and he runs the world. Then he has a shaitan that even amplifies that, multiple times. And then the human just wants to follow his desires on one side, shahawat and hawa, his inclinations and his desires. And the greatest, most dangerous desire is the desire of arrogance. This is the first sin. إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى وَاسْتَكْبَرَ وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. Iblis refused to obey Allah. Not only he refused, he said, I'm too good for this. أَنَا خَيْرٌ مِّنْهُ. The root cause was jealousy. The jealousy led to disobedience. The disobedience did not stop as a disobedience. It went up, it amplified to kufr. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى وَاسْتَكْبَرَ وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. He refused. He became arrogant. Yani refusal, disobedience. He could have repented when Allah told him, why didn't you bow down to Adam? He could have repented. He didn't take the chance. No. I'm too good for this. I know more than this. I don't need this. Because of that, it led him to kufr. So it was no more disobedience. It was no more sin. It became a fundamental issue. And that's why we as Muslims, Allah instructs us in the Quran that when we look at disobedience, first we hate disobedience and we don't like it and we stand against it, whether we do it or others do it. But we differentiate between the action and the actor. We're supposed to have mercy on the actor and hate and stand against the action, unless the actor fully embraces his action and calls for it. Then the actor is condemned too. In this case, Iblis himself was condemned and casted away from Allah's mercy subhanahu wa ta'ala, and anyone that follows his path. My dear brothers and sisters, these are very important lessons for us as believers as we're looking around. And in the last khutbah, we drive from the statement of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam at the end of Surah Yusuf, when the brother said, "Oh my God, you're Yusuf." He said, "Yes, I am Yusuf, and this is my brother. Truly, whosoever becomes God-fearing, يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ وَيَصْبِرْ, and has perseverance, steadfastness, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ." So Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam gave us 1, 2, 3. Taqwa, do the right thing. Sabr, keep on doing the right thing even when everything goes against you. And ihsan, shoot for excellence. And just keep doing your thing. Sometimes what you're doing, you don't see the results of it. It doesn't look like it's working. But you don't stop doing what is right because you don't see it's working. Because when Allah Azza wa Jal told us to do it, He did not ask us to do the action and then see the result. Seeing the result is none of our business. Doing the right thing is our business. What's Allah's business? To take your ikhlas, you're sincere, you really want to do good, you're really doing it for the sake of Allah, you really want goodness to prevail in this world. You want righteousness to win. You want purity, goodness, benefit for all mankind. Allah sent us as the messengers of the messenger. What did He say about the messenger? وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Then what are we? We're also رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We're against the action. And sometimes we're against the actor if he embraces and is proud of his action. But how do we continue going? The problem is, like, whatever we're doing seems that it's not working. And I proved it to you through numbers in the last khutbah that it's actually working fabulously. We realized through numbers, 1910, the world population was 2 billion people. The number of Muslims was 200 million. Simple math, 10% of the world population. In 2010 to 2020, world population, 8 billion. Muslim population, 2 billion. What's the increase? From 10% to 25%. 15%. This is 15%. The number of Muslims is growing, and the number of practicing Muslims amongst Muslims is also growing. What's the shocking realization? Never in the history of Islam, including the first 100 years, did Islam Muslims grow in number from 10% to 25%. Never, ever it happened, not even including the first 100 years of the history of Islam. We have just scored a win last 100 years while being losers. Yes, we are losers, but Islam is a winner. So how do you get to dismay, disbelief, hopelessness when Ibrahim alayhi salam tells his wife, إِنَّهُ لَيْسَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ مُؤْمِنٌ غَيْرِي وَغَيْرُكَ. There's no other believers on planet Earth except you and I. So if they ask you, who am I? Tell them, he's my brother. Meaning, I'm your brother in Iman. Yes, I'm your husband, but I'm your brother in Islam. When he landed in Egypt, and the king sent his soldiers to take, so Sayyidina Ibrahim had to make a quick plan. What do we realize from the stories of the prophets alayhimussalam in Al-Quran Kareem? There is a short-term action and there is a long-term action. Short-term action, we make dua, we give sadaqah, and we speak up. They call it in America activism. We make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. We give sadaqah so that we're not giving the world lip service, and we speak up. This is today. طيب. What do I have on the long run? It's not working. Can I do something that changes the world? Is there a way? Yes. Read the Quran. Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, you read the entirety of the Quran, you cannot find like where's the ummah of Ibrahim? Barely he had believers believing in him. So he asked Allah Azza wa Jal to give him children. So Allah gave him Ismail, and Allah gave him Ishaq, and from Ismail came an ummah, and from Ishaq came an ummah. And today, the Ahlul Kitab, the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims come from the children of Ibrahim alayhi salam. طيب. Does it make sense to you that when Islam was 2 people on the planet, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam told his wife there's only 2 people. Like two people and Islam survived. We have 2 billion. You know how many zeros different is that? That's 9 zeros. Between 2 and 2 billion, 9 zeros. We don't have the right to give up. We're not allowed. We're not allowed to say, oh my God, things are... No. Things have been always falling apart. This is the struggle that Allah put on earth. So what do I do? We're living in the Bay Area. We're in the Silicon Valley. The thing to do that is glorified in our eyes is to start a company and make a lot of money. Allah Azza wa Jal give us another thing to start in the Quran that actually changes the world, and very quickly, like very quickly. And as the same story happens again and again and again, to start what? A family. And to pay attention to your family. First, if you're not married, get married. Obviously following the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Be ready for marriage financially. مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ مِنْكُمُ الْبَاءَةَ فَلْيَتَزَوَّجْ. We should encourage our children to get married early. And if the parents, Allah fatah Allah alayhim, get your kids married even when they're in college. They don't have to fall into haram, then come back to halal. The father of the bride, the father of the groom, they help them together. It happens. 20 years ago or more, a medical student came to me. They're both going to the Bahamas, to medical school. They called me. I said, get married, talk to your parents if they can support you. The parents looked at the situation. They're both paying rent. So they joined the rent. They're both paying for their children for food. They joined the food. The parents agreed with me. They got married. 2 weeks ago, I attended their child's high school graduation. That's when you know you're old. And they both graduated as doctors. And then they went and started a company. But after having 4 children, beautiful children, and starting a family. This is a story here in our community. Start a family. Why? Because there's something strange. When Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam had Ismail and Ishaq, very quick change in the world. Sayyidina Ibrahim has Ishaq, he raises him well. Ishaq raises Yaqub well. Yaqub raises his 12 children well. And he invests in his son Yusuf alayhi salam. I want you to think, within the lifetime of Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam, Muslims are minority. They are Awlad Ishaq, Awlad Yaqub, they're the 12 children, and Awlad Sayyidina Ismail. Also Sayyidina Ismail had 12 children. Subhanallah, they're also mentioned in the Bible, the 12 children of Ismail, other than the 12 children of Yaqub alayhi salam. Right. Imagine the number of Muslims now went from 2, Ibrahim and Sarah, to maybe 20. Ismail, Ishaq, okay, 30 people, okay. Yaqub alayhi salam invests in raising that child, talks to him, conversates with him, teaches him. The kid was so comfortable with his father that he was telling his dreams to his father. قال يا أبت إني رأيت 11 كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين. I asked myself, is my child comfortable enough to come and tell me his dreams? You should ask yourself that. That child, things got way from the bottom of the well, hatred of the brothers, bottom of the well, bottom of slavery, bottom of the jail. It's not getting any better. And from jail, he goes to become man number 2 in the world. Whosoever ruled Egypt ruled the world at that time. Whosoever number 2 in Egypt, he's number 2 in the world. And all of a sudden, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam is running the economical, social, political show in the world, meaning in Egypt. Like, isn't that an economical change? Very quickly. Isn't that a social change? Very quickly. Isn't that a political change? Very quickly. Within one generation. The father saw it, the son saw it. The father and the mother and the children came and made sujood to Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam. Same story happens after. The Israelites and the Jewish historians, they cannot make up their mind. Between Yusuf alayhi salam and between Musa alayhi salam, Yusuf and Musa, is there 40 years or 400 years? How long were the Israelites as slaves in Egypt? 40 or 400? They don't know. Let's take even the 40. Look. The people that I want to meet Yawm al-Qiyamah, if Allah Azza wa Jal allows me to go to Jannah, may Allah Azza wa Jal make your final abode and mine in Jannat al-Na'im. And your loved ones. And al-Muslimeen wal-Muslimat, and our brother or sister who passed away today. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Do you know who I want to meet in Jannat al-Na'im? I want to meet the father and mother of Musa alayhi salam. These are amazing parents. Look, 3 out of 3. Their daughter Maryam, mentioned in the Quran. She's the one who brought Musa, older sister. Their second son, first son, Harun, became a prophet. Musa, how do you do that? 3 out of 3. Amazing family. How did you raise them? Under slavery, under pressure. They're running after your child to kill him, and you're able to raise him like that? This is fascinating. Nobody gives credit to the parents of Musa alayhi salam for raising amazing 3 children, all mentioned in the Quran, all mentioned in the books of Holy Scripture before us. And within one generation, they raised a good child. Allah took that child, like He took Yusuf and put him number 2. He took Musa and put him in the house of the Pharaoh. Did they have to wait 5, 6, 10 generations? No. Same generation. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam goes in the house of the Pharaoh, goes to Madian for 10 years. Allah cleansed him from all what the Pharaoh taught him that he didn't need to have. He needed to learn things from the palace of the Pharaoh, but certain things he had to shed. So he went for 10. He shed all the arrogance probably and all of the thing that was in the castle of the Pharaoh. Khalas, now he came back very humble shepherd, but very educated. And he comes back and the world changes within the life of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. It did not take 10 generations. It took one child well raised. We are in the summer. What are you doing with your family? The next school year is coming. Where are you going to register your child? I'm sorry, I keep on rubbing it in your face every time this comes again. Next year, your elementary, middle, and high school should be either homeschooling, Islamic school, or some charter school, or somewhere Muslims that could put their act together. Our loss ratio in public school is unbelievable. I deal with it. People only call me, as we say in Palestine, when the axe is in the middle of the head. Like you go to the doctor, what happened? The kid got hit with an axe. And you go to the emergency room with the axe in the middle of his head. Now you want me to do surgery? I'm not a magician. No other imam can fix your child after he reached 17, 16. Bring him when he's 5 or 6 so that we can raise him well. Plus, it's a myth that you have to put him there because when he goes there, he's going to go to the best university. Myth. It has been debunked. Homeschoolers and Islamic school graduates are better than all. They're going to the best universities. And it's not hurting them that they did not go to public school or God knows what private school that taught them what. At the end, you lost your child. Your child is the only hope we have after Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah showed us that in the Quran. Raise Yusuf, one generation, the world changed. Raise Musa, one generation, the world changed. Raise Isa, Maryam, one generation. Raise Isa, raise Yahya, one generation, the world changes. What can you do to change the state of the Muslim world? Pay attention to your family and invest and be 10 steps ahead of your children And Allahu A'lam, how does Allah work and picks this? And in one generation, we will see economical, social, political change in the whole world. And we don't know. It wouldn't be our smartness. It will be Allah. And that's why Allah keeps on repeating. Every story of a prophet in the Quran is a story of a family. Nuh with his 3 children. MashaAllah ala Nuh. Out of 4 children, he lost 1. The world outside against him, his wife inside is against him. How did Nuh manage to get 3 out of 4? Wallahi, 10 out of 10. عليه الصلاة فعلا من أولي العزم. Truly. All the stories of the Prophet. Ibrahim, story of a family. Isa, alayhi salam, story. Musa, story of a family. Yusuf, story of a family. It's all families. And in America, they want the generation. Just think of yourself, how to become a millionaire, start a company. خلاص بعدين, you know, who cares about children? And when you have children, give them an iPad and just let them get them busy. That's not how you change the world. And if your heart is hurting, may Allah Azza wa Jalla inspire us to do the right thing. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده. اللهم يا مسبب الأسباب سبب لنا أسباب الخير يا رب العالمين. Brothers and sisters, there's so much we can do, but there's some things we can do today. Like you can go home and start and invest. And when you go home, time at home is a sacred time with your family. And take advantage of the services that is given, the weekend school, the tahfidh school, the full-time school. Right now, in the next 2 weeks, there will be a camp for your children, elementary and middle, also an MCA here. So take advantage. Whatever you can, take it. And believe me, Allah will reward you. And Allah said, I will not put to waste. Inna la nudi'u ajra al-muhsinin. I will not put to waste the people who invested in their children. And you will feel very happy when your child grows up righteous. Allah call it qurrata a'yun, the pleasure of your eyes. As your child grows up, educated, polite, family committed, high achiever, all. Islam gives you all. Islam gives you dunya before akhirah. That's what you have to understand about our deen. We want to be successful in dunya in the name of Allah, for the sake of Allah. Islam gives you both. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً. Don't ever think you will miss out because you became more faithful or you raised your kids to be more religious. Wallahi, you will get the best of dunya and the best of akhirah. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت. اللهم ارحمنا واغفر لنا وللمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم ارحم واغفر لحينا وميتنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام وانصر المسلمين وأعلي كلمتي الحق والدين. اللهم ارحم إخواننا المسلمين في غزة. اللهم أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. اللهم أعنا على إعانتهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم اكتبنا مع من دعا لهم ونصرهم لا مع من خذلهم وأسلمهم يا رب العالمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين فاغفر لنا أجمعين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على عبدك ونبيك محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر. والله
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا للصلاة يرحمني وإياكم الله. استووا واعتدلوا أثابنا وأثابكم الله. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك